they might be better off without him. I mean, the fact of the matter is they shared the ball much better when he went down last year. I'm not convinced that they're not better off without. Obviously getting something for him, but better off without. For the purposes of...
Ever since the 2018 NBA playoffs, there's been this narrative going around the NBA community that the Boston Celtics are possibly better without Kyrie Irving. The basis of the argument being the fact that without Kyrie, the Celtics made it all the way to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, essentially a quarter away from an NBA Finals berth without him. I already tried to disprove this logic in the summer, but fast forward to February 2019, the narrative has been revived. Now, why exactly? Well, when your team has the expectations of winning 60 plus games, being the undisputed best team in the Eastern Conference, and at the All-Star break you're barely hanging on to the 4th seed, that would help in reviving this narrative. When your team has a winning record of 8-2 without you, this narrative will be revived. However, what I want to do in this video is simply dispel this myth, because I'm tired of contributions to players like Kyrie and other players in NBA history in similar situations being discredited for a fundamentally flawed logic. But before we get into that, a quick word from our sponsors at SeatGeek. SeatGeek is an app that gets tickets from all over the web and puts them on one app so you can find the best prices for all your ticketing needs. I used it to go to the Thunder Celtics game this year, and I actually did use SeatGeek to go to the game because after weighing out all of our options, we straight up just found the best deal on the app. You can check what your seat looks like before you go, you can check prices with ticket fees included, which many apps don't do, and the app is just very simple and intuitive to use. And thanks to the people over at SeatGeek, you can use code BSOULS for $20 off your first order. Check the description for links to download the app on your iOS and Android device, and once again, shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this video. So the main point of evidence that people have been using to back up this claim that the Celtics are better without Kyrie is their record of 8-2 when he doesn't play. And at face value, it should be a very concerning stat. Theoretically, a team should play worse when their quote-unquote best player is out, but somehow they're on pace to win 66 games without him, yet only 49 in the games he's played. But then let's look at the Celtics record when Jaylen Brown is out, 5-0. Let's look at the record when Al Horford is out, 6-3. Gordon Hayward, 4-1. Marcus Morris, 3-2. Jason Tatum doesn't apply because he hasn't missed any games. But the reason I showed you guys these numbers is what this tells us is the problem with the Celtics is not necessarily Kyrie Irving. It truly is the fact that they do have too many shot creators. Because as soon as just even one of their shot creators are out, the distribution of touches makes the guys who don't play well play a little bit better. And since Kyrie has missed the most games out of this group, and there's a bigger sample size of these games, and he's the best player, that is why these takes exist. But to me, all this shows is their problem of too many shot creators. This does not show that they are directly better without Kyrie Irving. Now, I am not a big fan of advanced stats, because they can be affected by so many factors. But even for those of you guys who do like to use them a lot, let's look at them. Kyrie has a box plus minus of 6.9. Per comparison, that's a higher box plus minus than guys like Russell Westbrook, Stephen Curry, Paul George, Kevin Durant, and Joel Embiid. The Celtics have a net offensive rating of plus 8.7 when he's on the court, and it goes down to a plus 4.4 when he's off the court. He's top 15 in value over replacement, the same as KD and LeBron's, and higher than guys like Kawhi Leonard, Kemba Walker, and Jimmy Butler. So logically, it doesn't even make sense. And even if you look at the advanced numbers that some of you guys love to use, it still doesn't work. But let's dive into these numbers once again. They have a net offensive rating of plus 8.7 when he's on the court, and a net offensive rating of plus 4.4 when he's off the court. Now, just for a fun exercise, let's do the same for a couple of other NBA players. Let's do it for Russell Westbrook. The Thunder have a net offensive rating of plus 7.4 when he's on the court, and a flat 0 when he's off the court. Stephen Curry, the Warriors have a plus 12.4 when he's on the court, and only a plus 0.4 when he's off the court. LeBron James, a plus 2.4 when he's on the court, a minus 5.0 when he's off the court. And this goes into a very basic concept of math that I really shouldn't have to explain to you guys, but here I am. Absolute value. For those of you guys who don't know, absolute value is the net difference between two numbers. So the net difference between 70 and 80 is the same net difference between 85 and 95. Now let's just hypothetically say that the first number stands for the team's overall without a player, and the second number is the team's overall with a player on the court. When people say that the Celtics are better without Kyrie Irving, they're pretty much just correlating the fact that the Celtics are a good team even when Kyrie is not playing to saying that they're a better team without Kyrie, which is completely false. Because what the numbers show is that although they are still a good team without Kyrie, a plus 4.4, with Kyrie, they simply go to another level, a plus 8.7. The difference between Kyrie and the other players I mentioned that makes it seem like the Celtics are better without Kyrie is simply the fact that the net offensive rating of the Celtics when he's off the court is much better than other teams when their player is out. When you look at the Warriors, they're only a plus 0.4. When you look at the Lakers, they're a minus 5.0 when LeBron's off the court. When you look at Russell Westbrook, the Thunder are a flat 0. But when you look at the Celtics, they're a plus 4.4. So literally, according to the numbers, Kyrie's value is being questioned simply because he's on a good team. And Kyrie is not just a victim of this take throughout the years. When people say that the Bulls won 2 less games without MJ when he retired the first time, that is the exact flaw in that take. Yes, without Jordan, the Bulls were still good enough to win 55 games and be 1 win away from making the Eastern Conference Finals. But the fact is, when they did have him, they were the league's most dominant team, winning 3 straight championships in a row. And Jordan's value should not be what the team is simply without him, but Jordan's value should be the difference between what the team is without him and the team is with him. And with him on the team, they are one of the NBA's best dynasties. And without him, they're a second round exit. Now let's look at Kawhi Leonard, who in 2017 also had to deal with the same criticism. The fact that the Spurs had a winning record without him was used to discredit his value to the Spurs. But just like Kyrie this year, that year for the Spurs when he was off the court, the Spurs had an even greater net offensive rating difference of plus 6.9. But that still didn't mean that they were better without Kawhi. As with Kawhi, they had an even greater net offensive rating difference of plus 8.5. I just find it weird because people completely get it with Stephen Curry. People realize that without Steph, the Warriors is still a good team, possibly a great team. They still have KD, Draymond, and Clay. But with him, they're a whole nother animal. And Stephen Curry's value is that difference. But when it comes to Kyrie, when it comes to Kawhi Leonard in 2017, when it comes to Jordan in the mid-90s, the narrative changes. Now I know the numbers are different for Curry and the net rating is still bigger for Curry, and I'm not saying that Kyrie is just as valuable as Curry, but the logic should still be the same. However, what I will say is this narrative, despite it being so flawed, and I just explained why it is so flawed, this narrative could be the reason why Kyrie leaves the Celtics in the summer. Because I do believe a big reason as to why he left was because he was not given the proper credit that he deserved for Cleveland's success. While I do believe that LeBron was the biggest contributor to their success, it just seemed like he got all the credit for their success. What do you hear about the 2016 NBA Finals? LeBron beat a 73-19. But for anyone who watched that series live, you know exactly what Kyrie Irving meant to the Cleveland Cavaliers in that series. Specifically Game 5. And we all know about the shot he hit in Game 7. And now with the Celtics, because of this narrative, people are pretty much discrediting Kyrie's contributions to the team simply because he plays for a team that can function without him. Essentially, once again, he is not given proper credit for the team's success. But in reality, when you look at the numbers, when you look at the logic, the Celtics are in no way, shape, or form better without Kyrie Irving. And they need him to be the best version of themselves. But to lighten up the mood, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you liked it. Let me know in the comment section what y'all think about Kyrie's value to the Celtics, because I do believe that this is something that we really need to address as a community. The fact that a player's value is not simply what a team is without him. It should be the net difference. And that's something that I didn't know I had to explain, but here I am. But with that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'm out. Peace.